Greetings and salutations, my friends, and welcome to a new video. Today, I bring you one of my personal favorites to film, which is a cozy bookish sleepover. I love making these types of videos because I think they can take you literally anywhere. Last go around, I was not planning on acquiring a Kindle, and let me tell you what happened by the end of that cozy bookish sleepover. That's right, I bought a Kindle. And mind you, I love it, but that's kind of the appeal of the cozy bookish sleepover. Anything can happen throughout it, and so it's not just about the books I am picking up in my mood reading and updating you about them, but it's also about those random chats, those random updates that I wouldn't otherwise be able to give you in maybe other vlogs or videos. And I love that. I love that it's a chance to hang out, catch up, chat in the comment section, and kind of just bounce off of each other. And I love that you guys also kind of take it as an opportunity to hang out, but also kick back, relax with your own books, maybe do a sleepover actually, where you prioritize that self-care that may be very difficult to squeeze into the everyday. I have got some reading plans that I think are gonna be really nice for overnight and then also tomorrow morning. I also have some things checked out from Libby that could be really good options. I have got the kitchen stocked up with some items that I will be picking up sporadically throughout the night. I also have two lovely cat companions that are going to be here with us, okay? And bestie, you better not be falling asleep first, okay? Because I will absolutely drop the Sharpie in your face, so you better not. All jokes aside though, I do have to walk you through some of my potential reading plans for this night. I also have to update you on some tattoos that I got recently. I want to chat about some reality TV I've been watching as well. And I also have a really random thing to unbox with you guys alongside other things that I also have to unbox. I also have like some face masks that we can do, and I also have a crochet project that I need to check up on, so you guys are coming on that journey with me too. So we're gonna have a little bit of everything this go around, so you better be excited because we're gonna have some good stuff in the sleepover. And you know what? Because sleepovers are the perfect opportunity to catch up with your friends and chat about everything that's happening in your life lately, I have found the best accountability buddy. My newest acquisition is that baby back there. You see it, you spot it, the Hatch Restore 3. You're gonna see it in the video time and time again. It is going to be my physical companion throughout all of this because obviously you guys are not here, so let's talk about it. My Hatch alarm clock, also known as the Restore 3, is their newest launch into market, and I have been using this every single day. It has now become an intrinsic part of my routine to really reinforce good habits and to also make sure that I am getting the best sleep possible, which is something I had very much grown used to not getting. Right as you open the box, you get a beautiful, simple experience, which I really do love. You literally take your Restore 3 right out of the box, you plug it in, and then you go right into the Hatch Sleep app to set everything up. It is super easy, super fast, not to mention that it's literally super sleek and blends into the background in the most beautiful way. I am able to change the background color that I have got on it right now. Let's say that I wanted to do pure red. I'm able to change that. I'm also able to change the brightness and the intensity. I'm also able to make an unwind routine, and I can choose what my unwind routine is. So I can choose whether to meditate or to get a soundscape or what activity exactly I want the Restore 3 to prompt for me so that I can fully relax before I head into bed. I can also choose my sleeping routine, so if I want any soundscapes when I'm going to bed, and you can also choose the duration of how long you want to hear the soundscape for. And for me personally, one of the most beautiful things about the Restore 3 is how I'm able to also customize the way that I wake up, how my alarm goes off every morning. I can set it to gradually wake me up, so my wake up time preferably is 6 a.m., but I can ask it to prompt me to wake up about 30 minutes earlier if I want to, and it'll progressively turn the light brighter, the music also louder, so that you're not startled awake. It is such a peaceful experience waking up with the Restore 3, and I absolutely love that. Not to mention that the Restore 3 makes it so easy to go about your routine in a phone-free way, which I love because ideally I would like to set my phone completely aside when I'm going to bed. So quite literally, if I touch my Restore 3 and I just touch the knob once, that'll prompt it to actually give me my unwind routine. I can also set up the volume louder or lower depending on how I want it. And if I touch it again, it'll then go into my next routine, which is my sleeping routine. Again, it changes colors, it changes the soundscape. I am able to adjust everything through the knob itself. I can also, if I want to, touch the left side and I can pause that. I can go on the right side and I can cycle. So thank you so much to Hatch for partnering with me today and helping me bring you guys this video, and again, being a part of the whole sleepover experience. So if you do want to check them out, I will be leaving a link at the top of the description so that you can browse all things Restore 3 and maybe get one for yourself. And let's go to the office because we have books to pick for tonight because I still have got no idea what I am reading for this bookish sleepover. So let's go to the office. The first thing we have got to discuss today is actually the reading plans because I'm a little bit torn on what to do here. I have got a couple of really good options. I also have one ongoing read, which is the very last book in my TBR, so maybe we could make some progress with that. Although at the time of me filming this, we are nearing the end of month, so will I actually finish this as we film this vlog? Maybe, maybe not. Stay tuned and find out. However, I do have both of these things that one spine is not even facing out. Which one's the right way? I've got these two things right here that I am looking at very intently for this lovely night with you. The first thing is actually One Piece Volume 2. Look at her go. This truly is a miracle happening right in front of your eyes. Take a picture. Who would have thought, okay? Who would have thunk that in the year of 2025, Mel would actually be picking up One Piece? In fact, I've already finished volume 1, which was the volume in my TBR for January. And after finishing that, I'm like, well, I have to commit to this now because I actually really enjoyed it. And committing to One Piece specifically, for me at least, entails reading at least 2 to 3 volumes a month. Because how the heck am I supposed to get through 110 volumes in what amount of time? I'm not sure. I just don't want to give up on this. And I want to see how far I can commit to this without actually giving up. And so I feel it is a very smart decision for me to pick this up right away and see what happens in volume 2. And then the other option I have got is The Healing Season of Pottery. This is a literary fiction. It is Korean literary fiction at that, which I recently dove into with Welcome to the Hyunam Bookshop, and I really enjoyed that book. I think the synopsis sounds super cute. It's about a character that feels that her life needs to change, and she doesn't really know where to start or what to do with her life, and she figures that a place where she might find answers, oddly enough, is actually a pottery studio. It sounds like the kind of book I'd like. I have to say that. I'm so sorry. I don't know if the book is good or not, but it sounds like something Mel would like. But you know what Mel might also attempt, because I didn't realize that this book was on KU, and I don't know if this recently got put on there or if it's always been in there. I've never personally seen it, but it's definitely a book that I want to read sometime very, very soon. I've had my eye on it for months. Before I Let Go by Kennedy Ryan, I have never read a Kennedy Ryan book, but I know that this book follows divorced parents who are trying to make it work again because they manage a food business together, but they also never fell out of love with each other. And I feel like that sounds like a really good romance book with a lot more beyond the romance, which I personally would really love to read about. And so maybe Before I Let Go is something I need to dive into tonight. And by maybe, I mean, I think it's the book I'm gonna start out with because in my soul, I feel it that I have to read this. And so I have got that on my Kindle. I wish I kind of had it physically, but you know what? It's okay. KU is coming through for me. Gotta put that subscription to good use because I have to admit, even though I pay for it, sometimes I rarely use it. So I feel like that's gonna be a good plan to start out. I need to make dinner first and foremost because it's literally about to be 8 p.m. and I have not yet had dinner. So we are going to make something super easy. Literally going to boil some eggs, going to make some nice little carbonara ramen. If you know the good stuff, then you know. And so we're gonna make some of that. I think I have spring onion, I'm pretty sure, on my fridge. Not on my fridge, in my fridge. I think I have some. So we need to double check that. I know for sure I've got all of the other ingredients I would typically put on there. So this is what I'm gonna make for dinner. I am going to make some eggs to go along with them. I am going to boil them, try and get like a googly egg. Listen, I always have the tendency to overcook them just a little bit. And so you can tell that it used to be googly, but like now it's not. And so like it's hardened. I'm gonna try my hardest to do like the 5 minutes and trust the universe and just stop it because I'm always afraid of opening them and just that spilling everywhere because it's not cooked properly. But I have to trust the connoisseurs and I have to trust that it's gonna be like a good one. If I do 5 minutes, turn it off, while I peel them, they finish cooking, and that's like the perfect little boiled egg. And so going to trust them because they know what they're doing. I also do have just a tiny little bit of spring onion left. Don't have a whole lot of it, but enough to make this little meal. I am also drying some clothes in the background because I have to do a load of laundry tonight. So it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be okay. We're going to cook this up. So cue the B-roll while I do so, because let me tell you something. I'm not gonna be able to talk while I do this. I know myself. The minute I start talking, I am going to lose all focus and overcook those eggs. I just know myself. I know it. In my gut, I know it. Because you know what? That's what I do every time I get distracted. tattoos I got, because I got one on my left forearm and I got another one in my right forearm. And let me tell you, one of these wasn't planned. One of them was a matching tattoo with MelReads, which is very cute of us, if I do say so myself. I had eyed this tattoo out from a very specific tattoo parlor a couple of years ago. And then I don't know how I managed to suppress my need to actually get that into my body. And I simply did not. I actually have not gotten tattooed in 2 years. And I was talking to MelReads and I was like, hey, I've been wanting to get tattooed recently. Is there anything you would want to get? Because I want to go, but like going by myself is like, ugh, I don't know. It's like an experience you kind of want to share with people sometimes. Her reply was literally, I always have tattoo ideas. And so we made an appointment. We went ahead, got tattooed. The matching one is Tú Dale, which is a saying we have a lot here in Panama, and I'm sure there are other Latin American countries that likely say the same thing or a similar sentiment, but the sentiment roughly translates to go for it, go do it. There's literally nothing to lose. What is the worst that can happen? And it typically comes up when you say like, dude, I don't know if I should be doing this, but like I really want to start out a new business, or I want to go to the beach, or I want to travel, or oh my god, I don't know if I should be getting this thing, and people just go, cuero mano, tú dale. It's just, you know, go do it. I like it. It's silly, but I've been thinking about it for a while, so MelReads and I got it, and so now we've got matching tattoos, which is very wholesome of us. The other one, however, was the not planned one. I knew I was going in for 2 tattoos because I don't know if you guys know, maybe it's just, you know, a thing. Well, it can't just be a thing here in Panama. It's gotta be in other places too. Every time I bring this up in a live stream, people are like, what the heck are you talking about? But here in Panama, there's the superstition amongst tattooists that you're essentially supposed to have an uneven odd number of tattoos, and that if you have an even number, then it's sort of like bad luck. Maybe it's just a way for them to get more money out of you to get more tattoos. But because I had 3, I was going in for 2. I didn't really know what the second one was going to be. I was thinking an angel number. I was thinking a literal dinosaur on a skateboard. And I still do want to get those 2 things. But as I was sitting there, because our appointment was late, and I see that the parlor we went to had like this flash tattoo board that were readily available for you to get. You could just snatch it up, get it up right away. And you just have to get it tattooed with the artist that drew it, obviously. And what is my luck that as I sit there, again, I'm staring into the distance and I see the cutest little drawing of Totoro from my neighbor Totoro. And what are the chances too that the artist I had an appointment with for this one was also the one that drew this one? It just felt like the perfect timing, perfect moment, perfect everything. And so I didn't think about it twice. I was like, can I get it smaller though? Because it was really big. And so she downsized it for me. I got it tattooed, and now I have got 2 new acquisitions that I am very happy about, and I'm already plotting the next 2, which are likely going to be the angel number and the dinosaur on a skateboard. So you might see me again wearing like the little patches very soon, because I want to continue building my sleeves. Like slowly but surely, we're gonna get there, friends. And so I'm really excited about it. Just thought I'd share with the class, because even though I've been like filming videos with this thing on, I haven't necessarily shown it. And in fact, we need to get these patches off my skin either tonight or tomorrow morning, because it's already starting to, I guess, like, I don't know if it's like a little rash thing. She did say that it was possible if I kept it on for too long, but she did say to keep it on for a week if I could. But she said that that's like a thing that might happen. And so I do see certain inklings of that happening, or either that or just the skin is healing and it's like a little bit itchy. So I just want to take these off because it has already been a week, and so I need to take care of that. I did buy some Aquaphor so that I could slather that on top of the tattoos after I wash them when we take the skin off. So I'm excited about it, and I'm taking you with me to do that when it's time. We really did nail this ramen today. I am so excited about this. So we have got 3 eggs, we have got the ramen, and we have got Before I Let Go by Kennedy Ryan. I think it's about to be a good time. So we're about to sit down, read, eat dinner, and I have got my water bottle right here. So we are going to stay hydrated. Very exciting, very nice. All that to say, first bite is for you. Munch that, grab that, eat it. Okay, great, you got it. Okay, next one's for me. Great, thanks. When Lizzie McGuire spoke of where dreams are made of, I'm sure she meant this. This is exactly what she meant. All right, so here's the thing. I am only 10% into Before I Let Go. And tell me why I nearly almost just cried. The writing is so good so far. I am literally only 2 chapters in, I'm about to walk into the 3rd one, and I already almost burst into tears because the main characters, their tension at the moment, especially with them having recently gone through a divorce that is tied to a lot of grief and trauma, especially Yasmin, who we're seeing more closely at the moment. We know that she's not fully over it. For as much as she'd like to say that she is fully moved on from that event and that stage of her life, we know that she is still very much battling those inner demons, not only in relation to her divorce and to her past relationship with Josiah, but also just with herself in regards to the things that did happen while they were married. And the way that that manifests 2 chapters in, with them already having a discussion and that being so tied in pain and resentment and jealousy, but also with a lot of love. It nearly did me in, and I was not expecting that. So far, what I have gathered from this is that we follow Josiah and Yasmin, who have in the past 2 years gone through a divorce. Their life post-divorce is not as detangled as a lot of couples would do it, or as they even would like. They co-parent their kids very closely. There seems to be a lot of communication between them, specifically in regards to the kids, especially as Josiah takes on more of an admin role in the restaurant that they own together, versus Yasmin staying very much home, taking care of the kids, making sure that school's doing well, being very involved in school, in PTA and the likes. And despite the fact that this is an arrangement they have got and they have really found this rhythm to their daily life, you can tell that there are still many an unresolved issue from the time they were still together. And so there's still probably so many pent-up emotions between these 2 characters that we'll see develop throughout the course of the book. And you can tell that they still have got feelings for each other. Like, this divorce, although it did happen and it was finalized, and they're fully separated at this point in time, they don't even live together, you can tell that this divorce was not necessarily meant to be necessarily, like, it was definitely something they could have worked together to work past, but it never happened. And so I'm wondering how the author is going to navigate that specific aspect of the story in this installment, and how we are going to potentially aid the characters in their journey toward getting better and potentially getting back together, which is my understanding of where this book goes. I think it's really interesting. I think it's really interesting to read from the perspective of a couple who were together for a really long time. It is fascinating mostly because it's not a dynamic that I tend to see a whole lot in books. I tend to see like single parent tropes and whatnot, but specifically second chances with a past partner, specifically in the realm of divorce, is not something I have ever seen, I don't think. And so in that realm, this book is fascinating, super unique. I can't wait to see how it goes. And I can already tell that this book is going to do some serious damage to my little heart through the mentions of mental health alone. I am obviously going to keep on reading, but so far, only 34 pages in, I can already tell this might become a favorite. It obviously still has, you know, a long ways to go. I still am missing 90% of the book, but so far, so good. I really am enjoying this. I also don't know if it's too early to crack this one out and show you guys something that I've been wanting to open since I got it this afternoon, but I'm gonna fetch it. Please hold. Dun, da, da, dun, 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 dun. Bum, ba, da, dun, 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 dun. You guys are gonna be like, Mel, what the heck are you doing? And I would not be able to answer. So I swear to you, this has got a reason. So hi, I bought some Pokemon cards today. This is 3 sets of Stellar Crown. I got no idea what that means. Oh my god, this is gonna be so random. So I feel like I need to give you guys context. So I was scrolling one night on TikTok, okay? I was brushing my teeth and I was just scrolling, and then randomly I get this guy recommended to me called Pokebooks on TikTok, and he does a live stream. I know this by now. He does a live stream every night at 8 p.m. EST, and he packs orders, and he just sells Pokemon packs. He sells like different ones. So he sells Twilight Masquerade, Stellar Crown. He does Surging Sparks. I think he's got some like 151s recently. The facts that I know all of these things, look at me collecting knowledge. I'm like a little well of it. And so I have been watching that consistently every night. Another account, this one on YouTube, Coop's Collection, who is a vendor that goes to like different events, like physically, and he has his own stand, and he also sells like graded cards, individual ones. Anyways, point is, he does live streams every once in a while when he goes to events, and then he also puts up like curated, like condensed versions of the live streams. And I don't know why I've grown obsessed with watching those videos. Every time I'm like getting ready, anytime I need to cook something, anytime I have like some downtime, I've just been watching Pokemon unboxings and Pokemon vendors and just live streams, and I don't know what to do with myself. I know what people say. I know people will go like, oh, it's never too late, you can like always do it, but like, I don't know. I know nothing about Pokemon. Today, I went because I needed to get like makeup remover and stuff. I went to the store and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna be brave and I'm going to ask. You should have seen the lady's face when I asked her if they had Surging Sparks cards. She was like Pokemon cards? She said the only things they had was this, and then they had like little tin cans, and I don't know what the tin cans are. And so I was exiting the store, okay? I didn't get it. I was exiting the store. I'm like waiting for my Uber. I call my brother and I'm like, dude, I'm thinking of getting Pokemon cards. Should I? And he's like, yeah. And he's like not a Pokemon fan either. And so he's like, I think you should, because you've been talking like a lot about it. It only took that much for me to go back in store and get a pack, which essentially brings 3 packs. So these are 10 game cards. And then I don't know why this one is there, the Tinkaton. It's cute though, but this Tinkaton thing, okay, this one is just sitting there. It has a holographic edge. It's gotta be generic if it's up there. Anyways, point is, we're going to open this together. I know nothing about Pokemon cards, so I'm gonna need you guys to sound off in the comments if I find anything cool. I literally have no standard for this. I'm not looking for anything. Like, I just really wanna open these for the shits and giggles. I wanna feel special. I wanna feel like those guys feel when they open their packs and they're like, oh my God, I got a Charizard. I mean, I have no hopes of getting a Charizard on my first try. However, I think it'd just be really cool to do this. And so we have got 3 packs of Scarlet and Violet Stellar Crown. Again, this means nothing to me, but it also means everything to me at the same time. And so we are opening them together. I have to say, I'm so excited about this. So what I know that they do, okay? I mean, they typically would open these with like actual like blades and stuff. I'm not gonna do that, but they do this, okay? And they open it. And what I know they do, I'm already technically seeing this, but it doesn't matter. They'll do this. And then they'll grab 1, 2, 3, I think it's 4. They'll do this, and they'll turn it around. And then you get what you get. What is this? Is this Eevee? Wait! It's an Eevee! She, they, he, it. I don't know, but I love Eevee. Aww. I got a Bombardier. I got this thing. It's also really cute. I really love Eevee. Wait, I'm setting her aside. I love her. We've got Rhyperior. Guys, what the heck am I doing? It's like a drifting balloon. Oh my God, I love him too. I'm gonna set my favorites aside. Ponyta. Ponyta is bonita. I love her too. Why is this one holding a bone? You guys, is this going to become my latest obsession? I love all of them. And then we have got Revavroom. I don't know what Revavroom is, but he vroom vroom, I think. Ooh, we got a trainer, Briar, that I do not know. We're gonna open pack number 2. Dreadnought is cute. Okay. This one's so creepy. Carnivine. It's so ugly. Oh, wait, Pommy. I like Pommy. Pommy's cute. I'm setting him aside. Van Rotom is crazily creepy. I feel like it's staring into my soul. Ah, this was like a little star. I love him too. He's cute. And we've got a Lapras. I've heard of Lapras before. So I'm gonna set Jirachi and Lapras and Pommy aside because I love them. And what do we got? Ooh, wait, that's shiny. What is that? Celebi is cute. We've got Grimmsnarl. It literally looks like a green goblin. Grimmsnarl. I like him. Oh, it's a little panda. It's called Pancham. I love him. We have got Charjabug. And then we have got Salandit, I think. I'm pretty sure. And then what else do we got? Oh, wait, what is that? Mewtwo! Oh, I've heard of Mewtwo. Oh, I don't know what that means, but I like him. And then we got another trainer. We have Lacey. I like these. Okay, wait. Listen, as we've established, I know nothing about Pokemon cards, so I had to look this up, but apparently the ones with a star are like special. I don't know where, I guess like they're more rare. Oh wait, evolves from Choodle, evolves from Morgrem, evolves from Rhydon. Oh, so I can see the evolution in like the card itself. Oh, I like it. That's actually really cool. Why is adult money so unserious? Because why am I going to the store to get freaking Pokemon cards? I was never a Pokemon kid. I never had interest in either this, Yu-Gi-Oh, like Dragon Ball, like none of those things were of my interest. And suddenly at 25, I'm like, maybe I do want to collect Pokemon cards. I don't know, they're cute. Like I wouldn't even know what to do with them if I kept buying them, honestly. I mean, I guess get like a binder and put them in there. But like, honestly, what would I do if I actually collected them? I feel like I just have a binder collecting dust, but like the idea of like doing that every once in a while is kind of fun. So maybe you will see me unbox more Pokemon cards, because what the heck? Anyways, back to reading we go. I have got updates for you on the reading front because I have made my way into the 30% mark of Before I Let Go. I'm about to start chapter 12 in a little bit. However, I do want to do a very special unboxing because remember earlier when I said I had really exciting things to show you? How about a massive, and by massive I mean like really, really big box of candles. This was sent to me by one of you guys, Manos, who owns Luna's Bookish Flames candles, and he makes everything himself, everything at home. He is also part of the Citadel, the Patreon, and I bear witness of how hard he works to get orders out and to go into the design process and every thought that goes into making these candles happen. And it's been really, really cool to see that journey just grow through time and to see everything he's accomplished. And he was so lovely to send over so many different candles from several different launches that he has had in the past couple of months, and I have been saving this box for the right time. I have just been letting it simmer a little bit for the right video, and finally, because we are in a bookish sleepover and I know you guys are nosy, so am I, and whenever my friends come over and they see a box, they're like, what is that? I want to see. I figured what better time to show you some bookish related candles than during a bookish sleepover. There is simply no better time. So we are here with a lot of candles. This is really heavy. First of all, we need to talk about the really cute stickers. Like literally look at these. Oh my god, they're the most adorable thing ever. And I will be using them at some appropriate time in my reading journal. Some important things to note with these candles. They are 100% natural, 100% soy wax, vegan, cruelty-free fragrance oils, bio and eco-friendly glitters and colors. Wood wicks are FSC certified and they are pet friendly. So he has sent over a ton. I am going to show you my favorites first because all of these smell so freaking good. So Rainy Day Reads, that one smelled amazing when I opened it. However, all of these, I know there's some Decourt Valaris ones inspired. All of these smell really, really freaking good. And they're the type of scents that I like that are not too strong and overpowering. And so I love that these ones smell, but it's not overpowering to the point where it feels like it's attacking your nostrils, because listen, I have encountered many a candle like that and none of them are pleasant. And so I really, really enjoy his candles, and I personally prefer a lot of muskier scents, but also candles that are very layered and have got a ton of different tones to them. As you can tell by the label at the bottom, they have got a ton of different layers, from top notes to mid notes to bottom notes. There's like so much going into the actual layering of these candles that make them smell so complex that sometimes you can't even tell exactly what you're smelling except for the fact that it smells good, and you might hold on to like a couple notes, but that depth that it's got that, it's got to be that layering. It's just so freaking good. Not to mention that the candles themselves are stunning. Like, literally look at that. The wood wick, beautiful. But the actual glitter on top of it, guys, it's so freaking good. And I'm probably still gonna give a ton of these away to like friends and family so that they can enjoy some candles as well, because there is simply no way on God's green earth that I am going to be able to run through so many different candles by myself. It's just too much for my home. And by the rate that I actually burn candles, it's just simply too much. But I get to spread the joy now, which is also really, really nice. But if I had to choose some favorites, what would I do? I feel like the Autumn Court is really, really nice. I feel like this one, as soon as I smelled it, I went, whoa! And it was the same thing with Valaris. I feel like these two right here really, really, really struck my attention just with the notes, but then also Rainy Day Reads. So I feel like out of this batch, these three would probably be my favorite. Literally look at that. That is insane as far as like the glitter goes. Oh my god, and it smells so good. We need to light one of these tonight in the bedroom. I will be leaving it in the description with a little code that you can use for it as well, which is MelReads 15 for 15% off. All that to say, however, I do have reading updates for you. I did get to chapter 12 of Before I Let Go, which is page 114. So we are going to likely keep on reading this after I take my makeup off and do all of my skincare, face masking, all the things, mostly because I really am enjoying this and I don't want to stop reading it. But the way that this book navigates the conversation about mental health is actually so well done, and it's so refreshing. I think it's mostly refreshing to see the author include the mention of mental health struggles and mental illness doesn't really have a starting age. It can come for anyone at any point of their lives, and it shouldn't be a shameful thing to have to seek out help or to want to talk to somebody about it for as early as it might seem. Sometimes when you tackle these issues or these situations head on as early as you can, it often has a better payoff because you, again, handle it sooner and you give it the space that it merits, that it deserves, in order to work on that and get better. And I love that regardless of who the book is showcasing, having some semblance of relation to, again, mental illness or mental health, we see it from a variety of different characters really struggling with very different and also similar things, but experiencing them in very distinct ways, which I really also appreciate the inclusion of. Mental health and mental illness doesn't look the same for everybody, and although two people right next to each other might have depression, the symptoms and the way that it manifests in their life might be very different. There are also many a vein in a single mental illness that, again, might manifest itself differently, and so sometimes it might not look like that one single definition that society as a whole has for it, and so it might look a little bit different. And I really enjoy how Kennedy Ryan is going about establishing these conversations, but also showcasing what can happen if people around you are not really sensitive to that, and what exactly can happen when the process is as alienating as a lot of people know it to be. What happens when the people around you don't really understand what you're going through, when they don't make the effort to understand what you're going through, and sometimes they can't understand it because they're not going through it themselves, and often that'll put barriers in relationships and that'll limit the way that you're able to talk to people, because you know that regardless of what you say, they'll never fully hear you. And I really enjoy, again, how that's coming manifest in the story, because it gives the characters a lot of depth, but also the situations that they have gone through prior to the start of the book also are explained in more depthful, in more heartfelt ways that make you feel for the characters a lot. And while a lot of these things we are not seeing on page, I think it's that sense of also relatability where you're able to almost spot yourself in these characters and go, I know what she's talking about. I have gone through that, or I know people who have gone through that. And it's never easy. And I think it's such an easy point of connection to not only be able to connect to the characters, but to the story overall, and that I have found really enjoyable so far. And so that element I'm enjoying. I am also really enjoying all of the tricky bits surrounding relationships and how often, you know, you hype yourself up and you think that you're over somebody and you think that you have kind of walked past the situation, and it only takes one interaction, it only takes somebody else giving them attention for you to go, actually, I don't like that. Actually, I might not be as over them as I thought I was. And that's also something that a lot of people go through. And so I love that despite this being a romance book, which, as you guys know if you read romance very often, it's a very particular genre. It's something that can either be very realistic in its portrayal of relationships, in its portrayal of love, and how people connect to each other, or it can also be the very, not outlandish, I don't think that's the right word, but it can very quickly become something that you know to not be true. All of those stereotypes in the rom-coms, all of those typical beats in a rom-com that you'd kind of see in movies, in books, and in other media that feels very cliche and unreal and not like real life experiences. And so I love that this one does feel realistic, and this one makes it seem like the characters are real people experiencing all of these things, from having to deal with their kids and raising them and having to figure out how to adjust behavior with their kids, how to correct their kids, how to parent to the best of their ability without being too firm, but being firm enough that they listen to you, how to, again, carry out a relationship with your ex, knowing that there are many things that tie your lives together. There are so many elements of this that make it seem so grounded in reality that I really enjoy, and it's not going to be everybody's cup of tea, but I like that in this specific romance book, it's not just about the connection between the two main characters, but it's about everything that surrounds them too. It's about their support system as they are no longer together. It's about how they have rebuilt after they are not together. It's about them raising these kids together and figuring out exactly why, again, certain behaviors are taking place and how to correct those things, which are, I will say, as a child of divorce, a lot of these things are very accurate to the after divorce experience on the kids' end. And despite parents not wanting the kids to get involved, it incidentally ultimately happens in some way, shape, or form. And so all of those things, I think, are making this story so rich and so much better and so much more enjoyable. And so I'm having a great time with this. I kind of knew that this was a book that I would enjoy if I ever did read it, so I'm so happy I found it on KU and that it is something that I've been reading today. I hope to obviously have this finished by the end of the video, but I don't know if that's going to be true, because at this point I'm just really enjoying my time with it. And if I don't finish it in the video, I'm not too pressed about it. We'll see where the night takes me, because after I do my skincare, I'd love to sit down and read some more, but I can't guarantee that I'll stay up for too long after I do that. And so maybe I'll just keep on reading this for the rest of our time together. Maybe I'll actually pick up One Piece Volume 2. Maybe I won't. Who knows? Anything can happen as we are here together, as I have mentioned before. But as of right now, I am right here with Before I Let Go, because this is really freaking good. Welcome to the very echoey and noisy bathroom. It is time for skincare, taking the makeup off, and heading right into bed so that we can keep reading until we fall asleep, because it is that time of night, friends. It is officially my favorite time, which is when I get to lay in bed and do some reading. It is literally 2:30 a.m. and I think it's just time to go lay down instead of being in the office. However, I need a show of hands, okay, in the comment section as I take the makeup off, of how many people are watching Singles Inferno Season 4. I genuinely need to know, because I know this is one of those reality TV shows that, despite being a hit in Korea, and I know Latin America also loves this, I know there are certain territories that are not as hooked on Singles Inferno, but I genuinely love this reality show. It is still a dating show, but I think the format itself is so different and so interesting, which in turn makes it, I think, so much more exciting than your typical, ooh, we are in a villa and the whole point is to either persuade each other to actually do the dirty or to find meaningful connections, but they're all hoes, you know what I mean? And listen, I love that kind of show too. Lord knows I do watch it, but I think there's something about seeing Korean culture in a show like this with a dating premise and seeing how different it is culturally and societally in this specific reality TV versus what we are used to in the Western world. I think it is so fucking cool to watch, honestly, seeing these people, first of all, not know who they are, where they come from, their ages, their professions, nothing, because the whole point of the show, in case you're not familiar, is that they are put into Inferno, which is essentially an island with little to no resources, and they cannot talk about anything personal. And they play different sets of challenges every week or every other day to figure out who goes to Paradise. And Paradise is this very luxurious hotel with really nice rooms and really good food. I want to be there myself because the rooms and the food look fantastic. And so once they unlock that benefit and they get to go to Paradise, then they get to open up with each other and be more personal and share those more personal details. And so I love that it kind of forces them to connect in different ways and to really solidify who they want to get to meet instead of, again, kind of like hoeing each other around. And I really do like that. I also like how respectful the show is in comparison to, again, what I'm used to a lot of the time with Western media. I think that aspect in itself is also phenomenal in the show. And then a lot of the couples do stay together after the show ends, which I also love because you already know that there's like a higher rate of people that do not stay together for like Love Island and Love is Blind and a lot of these different shows. It's like a very small ratio of people that actually stick the landing, and I really love that the couples in Singles Inferno do seem to stand the test of time, and if not, then at least like they made some really great friendships. I really love it. This season though is so different, like in a good way, but also in a way that I've never experienced before. Typically the show in the past, like, while yes, there's tensions in certain parts of the show, it's not so petty and it's never so dramatic, and there's still like this sense of wholesomeness to the cast and the decisions that they make, and they really do take care of each other. This season feels cattier, pettier. It seems like people are completely disregarding a lot of the, I guess, like normative rules of Korean culture, which, listen, I'm not mad at it. It makes for really great TV, but it's shocking. There was even the conversation of exclusivity, which, if you know anything about the show, that typically doesn't come up very often, if at all. I don't think I've ever seen it in the show. And then there's people actually doing unhinged shit in ways that I have never seen before on the show, and this season has been fascinating because of it. So if you watch Singles Inferno, do let a girly pop know, because I've been chatting all about Singles Inferno with my patrons, but I need to know if you guys also watch it, and if you do, what are your thoughts so far this season? Who are your favorites? Are you rooting for anybody specifically? Because I have to admit, I really love Sian, but there are moments with this girl where I just want to like shake her silly, truly, because she'll do some crazy stuff a lot of the time. Jongsu, I also really like, but I have times with them. Taeho, honestly, climbed the ranks, became a favorite. I was not expecting it. They're bringing the drama. Good morning. Guess who's been in bed reading before I let go? It is indeed me. And I also just realized that although I did a face mask last night, I was like, why does my face feel so taut? I never moisturized
I put on a face mask, but I never moisturized and I never put on my lip balm. So I need to do my morning skincare at this point, and also probably get settled someplace other than my bed, because it is absolutely 9:15 a.m. and I cannot be in bed all morning, all day. Well, I very well can, but I wouldn't want to. So good morning. The tension in this book is getting so good. I'm on page 173, about to start chapter 19. And the way that things are progressing between Yasmin and Josiah, where they're very clearly in sticky situations at this moment in time, and it's getting harder and harder to ignore those feelings that still resurface every once in a while for each other. And I love it. I love it so much. I also love that we get his POV, because it's not something I typically see in romance. It typically is told from like the girly pop's point of view, and that's fine. But I love that the book starts out with his POV, and I also love that in the most important moments we go back and forth. So we get essentially both perspectives of what happened. We get her version of events, we get his, and you can find like the truth in between the two of them, where you know that it's not one or the other, but it's a mix of both in what ultimately damaged the relationship. And I'm really, really loving that. I really love getting to see both sides of this thing, because I don't typically find books like these, specifically in romance. So this is really, really good. I am about to hit 50% sometime soon. I'm definitely not finishing this before we are done today. I'm also enjoying this way too much to rush the process. But I am, again, so happy that I picked this up, because this is literally so good. It is miscommunication to a T, but honestly, this is the type of miscommunication I like, because it's not like the petty, stupid kind where it rarely makes sense at like the end of the third act conflict or whatever. This genuinely happens. Like, this is something that a lot of couples go through, and I can honestly see this as like a real case, real life scenario. And that's the type of miscommunication I like to see in books, where it's like really well done, and it's not, it happened now and then 2 sentences later it's resolved. Sometimes it takes longer than that, especially when it's been a longer period of time, and there's been so much buildup in that miscommunication that people have started to assume their own version of events. People have started to assume and put a tone and an energy to people's interactions and what they said that may not be true, but it's now tainted by all of these different experiences. And I really, really enjoy that. Again, it's really well done, so I'm having a great time. However, what we do need to do right now is actually remove the little, my hair is doing crazy things this morning, is actually remove the stickers from my tattoos, the second skin, so that I can wash those for the first time since I got them, and we can moisturize them as well, which I technically don't have to do, but I would rather do that just so that the area can stay hydrated, because even though the second skin has been on, the skin has felt slightly itchy over the last, I would say, like 2 days, and I know it's because the skin has not been washed yet and it's not been moisturized, because I know once moisturized that itchiness is going to go away right away, and so I need to do that before we start out with the day. And then I also need to double check my crochet blocking for the granny squares I made. I haven't showed you them actually. I need to show you that project, but I dry blocked some cotton granny squares I made, and I know people say you can either do it dry or wet, but I think for cotton specifically they tell you to do it wet just because the fabric gives a little bit more. I did it dry to test it out and see if it actually reshaped them in any way, shape, or form, and so we're going to find that out together, and then we can wrap it up and head our different ways. I'm so sad about that, but it's been a good run. And look at the good little baby in her home this morning. I always leave the cat carrier open for them, and they love laying in there. I also love that Sale's over here. She was laying on her bed. As soon as she heard me talking, she just stood up, but literally look at her. Hi, Veenster. She looks so mad. Hi, Seal. Sealster. Seal, mi amor. Alright, some early morning skincare. Well, it's not early, but like still. Some morning skincare never hurt anybody. Especially because I still feel like the face mask on my face. And I don't know if you guys are the same, but if there's something I hate is like feeling just like too tight sometimes. And I kind of want to wipe whatever residue is left on the skin just topically so that I can go in with my regular moisturizer.
because I'm sure that my skin is feeling this way because I didn't fully hydrate last night like I should have. Go-to moisturizer is the Believe True Cream Aqua Balm. I do have dry skin, and so technically I should be using a heavier moisturizer, but those just sit very on top of my skin, kind of like that similar experience that I was talking about with the face mask, and I really hate that feeling. And so what I like about this specific one is the fact that it's more of like a gel-like consistency, and it really does melt into the skin. I have turned several different friends and family members into believers of this moisturizer, and I mean right from the jump you can tell just like how the skin looks when you apply that. Oh my god, the skin just looks so good. It looks glowy but without feeling greasy. It's so freaking good. If you have mostly oily to combo skin, I would really recommend it, but also if you have dry skin like myself, I personally really love it because as opposed to other gel consistency moisturizers, this one actually feels like thicker, because I've tried other gel-like ones and they just disappear. It's like it did nothing for your face. And so this one, because it is just slightly thicker, I feel like it actually helps my skin soak it in pretty quickly without again feeling greasy, because our weather here in Panama, you already know, it's very hot, and so anything that's too thick will not settle right into my skin. I'll break out. It just won't feel good throughout the day. But then it also makes my skin feel super hydrated all day long. And that is not something I found in other like gel-like consistency moisturizers. And so I really do love that one for that reason. I've been using it for years and I run out of them religiously. About every 3 months, I'd say, and I just get a new one. And that's just been my go-to again for a couple of years now. And then the Laneige lip mask. You guys always are asking like, oh Mel, what's on your lips? What is that lippy? No lippy, just lip balm. This is what I wear all day, every day. When you see me in videos with like a full face of makeup, this is what I'm wearing. I used to be like a huge lipstick girl, and I mean, I'll occasionally use lipstick, but there's nothing like this. It's so good, and I reapply it like several times a day too. I love it. That to say, however, I need some warm water for these bad boys because we need to get them removed, and warm water does the trick to obviously not be too harsh on the skin. The great question would be if my sink will actually give me warm water, because it typically doesn't unless I've like recently hopped out of the shower. So let's see if the water actually warms up, because I feel like that'd be great so that I don't have to go to the kitchen and fetch some water. But if we have to, then it's just what it is. Guess who did not want to give me hot water? It was my bathroom sink. So we are in the kitchen instead, and I'm just going to let this water get warm. And I think what I'm gonna do is actually grab a little bowl for it, because I'm afraid that it'll be too hot, because this water right here warms up a lot. And so I feel like I have to make it more lukewarm rather than full on hot or cold. So let's grab a bowl. And what I've typically done in the past is I literally just do this. So like it'll get warm and then the adhesive will be easier to get off. And I just kind of soak it a little bit. And sometimes I'll grab like a paper towel or something to kind of put on top of it. You know how we used to do the like the flash tattoos when we were younger? It kind of is that same vibe and energy of like putting the warm paper towel on top with some water so that it'll transfer, except this time is to like get an actual like second skin peeled off. I feel like that should be good enough to start peeling this thing. And once I actually start peeling it and the actual adhesive starts like giving, at least like here at the top, once I wet it, it'll like again give out a little bit easier. First skin is off. It took a little bit to get off the skin because it was like really still glued in there, but we managed to do it with minimal pull, which is kind of what you want when getting this thing off. And now we just need to wash this a little bit. So use a little bit of soap on there. Also use a little bit of warm water and just kind of scrub it a little bit just to make sure that any residue from the transfer, which I still kind of have on my skin, and then also just washing the tattoo for sanitary purposes, that all of that is done. Second skin is off. And now we have got an uncovered tattoo, which we also have to wash with a little bit of soap to make sure that that's clean. So we just lather that on. Oh my God, touching a tattoo for the first time is never, is never a good vibe. I mean, it's great because like, you know, it's healed well, but at the same time, the skin is still so sensitive because it technically like hasn't touched like any, you know, any air essentially since I got the tattoo. I don't know the logic behind it, dude, but honestly, it's always so sensitive the first time. So, oh, between that and then Totoro, dude, I don't want to say I nailed the tattoos. Well, I didn't, the tattoo artist did, but like the placement and the idea just, I want to go back for more. This is the issue with tattoos. If my friends were here, this is what we'd be doing together. Oh, that actually looks so nice. My skin is really marked from the skins though. And I do have like some glue residue over here. And then final step, which I technically don't have to do because I did get the second skin, but I would rather just do it anyway, is putting on a bit of Aquaphor on this thing so that I can hydrate it a bit and the skin can feel a bit better, just a little bit faster, just in case it gets itchy throughout the day, which I really hope it doesn't, but just in case, this really helps a ton. So that's what we do. That's how you take, well, that's how I take care of a tattoo. I was gonna say, that's how you do it, but not everybody does it this exact same way. Next on the docket, we have got to check these granny squares. So let's go into the office so that we can sit down and look at these because I'm unsure at this point in time if they blocked out well, if they even changed shapes or did anything at all. It is also important to note that I have ordered coffee, okay, which is very exciting. I thought I was gonna go out and get it myself, but honestly, no. I ordered it in alongside some lunchies. They, oh, and by they I mean the cafe meal prep catering thing I go to. It's called La Cocina de Sophie here in Panama. They make the most delicious lentil soup every Friday. It's like the soup of the day. And it is lentils, tasajo, and then really ripe plantain. It is so freaking good and they run out of it so quickly. I'm sure what I did today is what a lot of people do, that they probably buy it in batches and then they put it in their fridge. And so I got 3 today so that I can eat one for lunch and then stow the rest away and hoard them so that I can eat them over the weekend. It makes it a little bit easier to just grab that, reheat it, and then move on. And then it's all made fresh. It's all made with like all natural ingredients. They obviously like make it all at their facilities. And so I love it because they are really, really responsible with like food, sanitation, and all that. Very nice. I'm very excited about it. And I can't wait for my coffee. It's gonna be so good. That to say, we have got some granny squares right here. Literally, look at them. I made these. My own 2 hands made these. I absolutely love the way that they turned out as far as the actual design. I found them on YouTube actually, so I'll leave a link down below in case you guys want to make your own heart granny square. And the plan with this is to make my mom a tote bag because she's been wanting a tote bag for a while. And then when she saw that I started crocheting, she was like, can you actually make me a tote bag? And I was like, absolutely. We totally ran out of disk space, okay, in this SD card, so I need to change that in a little bit. Just deleted a couple files we don't need. That said, I was very used to making amigurumis because that's how I started into crochet, and I really struggled to learn how to do everything else. So for the bandana and then for the actual granny squares, I've been progressively, steadily going and learning new things. However, for granny squares specifically, it did take me a second to get it right. And then also, for the blocking, it's still a little bit confusing to me because I know a lot of people say you can just do it dry, other people recommend you do it wet, and so I think it just really depends on the person. However, these squares have been here for, ooh, actually a couple of days. I think they've been here for about 3 days now, so I feel like they should have stretched at this point. I'm not sure. So I am going to take these out, see if they hold their shape. And if not, then I'll for sure know that I definitely need to redo the blocking and I just have to do it wet. But it does kind of look like they, oh my God, wait, that looks so nice. Wait a second. So that's what the square looks like. Let me take all these out because I actually think that helped a ton. Wait a second. Oh my God, wait, I think this blocked out beautifully dry, which means that I think it might be safe to use this same blocking technique for the rest of the squares. And I mean, this is truly a learning curve. Like, I know I can do dry blocking for this one, and then I can just do it wet next time whenever I make a tote bag for myself, because this has left me, okay, a lot of desire to make one for myself, whether with the same pattern or a different one. Maybe I'll make myself like a flower one. And so these actually look quite nice, and I do trust that they're the right sizing, obviously, because they've been blocked out. So that is really, really cool. I think I'm just gonna bring the rest of the squares, and what I'm gonna do is just block out the rest of them, because now I know that it works dry for these. So I think I'm just gonna bring them over and do it right now, so that I know over the next couple of days they'll block out, and then I can have the tote bag ready in about a couple of days to a week. I think that's great. I still have all of these squares right here left to block out, but I think you can tell like this is kind of sagging inwards versus these ones that are much more stretched out. I don't know if you guys would be able to tell the difference. I can definitely see it, and honestly, for like dry blocking, which I know a lot of people say, I do not recommend, I feel like it looks really, really good. So I'm just gonna literally put these in here. I love the fact that I have a cozy hobbies hangout with my patrons in just a couple of hours after I finish filming this video, and I said I was gonna block out these granny squares during the live stream, and here I am blocking them out right now. But I'm like, listen, the earlier I do this, the better for me, so that these can stay blocked out for longer. So this is just what we do. And I don't know if this is the correct way to block out things, because let me tell you something, I didn't properly look this up. I just know that you put the pegs in, and then you put the granny square in there, and you just kind of do what you do. I don't know if that's like the right ratio of pegs to put for these types of granny squares. I don't know. I'm just like intuitively doing this and literally fucking around and finding out as I go. So if you have any tips on how to block out granny squares, do let a girl know in the comment section, because I'm sure that there is a better way to do this that I am not aware of, but this is just the way that I figured I had to by watching a couple of videos. Again, I'm mostly going intuitively because this feels right to me. And I mean, it worked, so it can't be wrong, but I'm sure that there's probably better ways to do this, and ways that'll block it out probably even better. So do let a girl know. And if you think that I should wet these, do also let a girl know. Like, I don't know, I mean, you guys probably know more than I do. I know a bunch of you guys crochet, but do let a girly pop know, because I crochet these with cotton, and I'm not sure what like the right procedure is for that. And again, I'm like recently new to crochet, and so I really would not know, girlfriend. I really would not. So let me just finish blocking these out, and then I'll show you the final result of these just stacked on each other. Well, actually, I'm just missing 4, so it should be very, very quick. All right, we have got some blocked out granny squares right here. I think I'm just gonna let these be for about the same amount of time. So for the last ones, I left it from Monday, and then today's Friday. So I think I might just do that. I think I might just let them be for about 3 to 4 days so that these can block out, or maybe I'll check how they look maybe tomorrow or the day after, and then figure out what to do from there, and then assemble the bag, which is very, very exciting. So hopefully I'll be able to show you like the end result in another vlog when I do finally get around to doing that. But honestly, look at her go. I made these. I made these with my own 2 hands, guys. This is really exciting. Coffee has arrived, friends, but then also the soup I was mentioning. Literally, look at this. So it's got lentils, it's got el tasajo, which is a type of smoked meat here in Panama. We have got el platanito maduro, which is the ripe plantain, a bunch of good veggies. Oh, this is just so delicious. I am about to devour it. Oh, I'm so excited. it is now significantly darker because the day went by fully and I did not update you again, friends. I definitely should have closed the vlog earlier today, but then I got wrapped up in finishing up edits for the video that needed to go up today, and then also streaming and then hanging out with my family afterwards, and I totally forgot to close this vlog out for you. But now that it's 11 p.m. and it's time for you to depart to go back home, I wanted to give you guys one last final update about before I let go. I made it to 58% earlier today when I was eating lunchies, and that is basically page 224. So really good progress was made today with this book. I definitely think I'm gonna finish it this weekend because there is simply no way I'm not going to. It is too good to not keep reading. So I'm sure you guys will hear about this in a wrap up and hear all of the thoughts. And while we did not finish a book today, I think that the vibes were immaculate, and I really loved spending time with you guys, catching up, talking about all the things. So let a girl know in the comments if you have read Before I Let Go, if you have read any other Kennedy Ryan books, if there are any other ones that you recommend. What have you been up to recently? What have you been reading? Let a girl know how your January kicked off, how your year in general did, because I would love to chat with you guys about that. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and also subscribe if you want more content like this. And if you would like to support the channel further, Patreon is always linked down below. Listen, it's the start of February, so I feel like the start of a new month is always a great time to pledge to Patreon to fully take advantage of all of the benefits throughout the month, whether that be in the live stream front, on the extra content front, on the book club, and many other perks that go up very often. I'm very active over on Patreon, so you definitely get your money's worth, and it helps the channel a ton to get expensive equipment and the likes to keep things running smoothly. That is always linked down below. And if you reach the very end of this video, let us leave some food-related emojis, whichever one you want, mostly because our main characters obviously have a food business. Maybe the chef emoji could be quite nice. So if you reach the end, let's leave a chef emoji or something in relation to food if you reach this point of the video. And I will for sure see you very soon, because you have to see my January wrap-up and my February TBR, which are both going up in the coming days, so you can stay tuned for that, because let me tell you, there is plenty to talk about. So I'll see you then. I love you the most, and I hope you have a beautiful day, friends. Bye!